The sun was high in the sky by the time I reached Warfield. All the better. The Shulvanti had imposed a curfew in an attempt to curb the chaos that 300 escaped prisoners were likely to cause. Since it was noon, I wouldn't have to rent a motel. I could do exactly what I come here to do. I had to warn Mum I was up. Okay, bit of backstory. A few years ago, Mum went to prison for beating the shit out of somebody. She had gotten out of Darbysburg Correctional about the time I finished college and my teaching degree, so I headed home to meet her the day she was due to be let out to drive her home. I had just gotten back to Grimsfield the night the Shulvanti invaded. After that, well, Uncle Bill, the governess, prison, etc. I was a little scared to see how she'd done under the Shulvanti. Hell, I just hoped she lived in the same house. It was weird going back through the city I'd grown up in. I'd remembered the small, redneck sort of town, but in the past few years it had gentrified as hell, and of course the Shulvanti had changed things even more. Sure, I recognised the places. There was the Kismet Cafe, the old one-room movie theatre, and the old bar run by two old Armenian ladies that everyone went to Friday night. But none of it was the same. Now the Kismet Cafe had a second sign in vacantry, the movie theatre had a sign advertising human movies, and the old bar was populated by Marines and advertised men's night on Tuesdays. It was some sort of surreal nightmare. I pulled down the street I grew up on, half expecting a landing pad for a flying saucer or some shit, where my house used to be. But thankfully it was right there. I slid up the driveway and got out. No sooner had I knocked on the door than a worry-haired lady with a shotgun kicked over the door. "Alright, you purple cunt!" Holy shit! Holy shit, Tom! Tommy? She pretty much tackled me. "Hi, Mum. Thank God you're okay." "I'm okay. Tommy, I get out of prison and aliens rule the world, and my son's an intergalactic terrorist. Yeah, things are going great." "I wish I'd come to see you sooner." I felt awful. "It's okay, sweetie. Come inside. You still like those horror movies?" One of the things Mum and I loved doing was ordering a shitload of wings and watching all those trashy exploitation films. Rob Zombie and Ross Mayer and the like. One of my most vivid memories from when I was a kid was watching Faster Pussycat Kill Kill and laughing along with Mum. Yeah, but there's something we gotta talk about first. I came here to warn you about something. I followed her inside. "Yeah? What is it?" Mum tossed the shotgun back up on the pegs in the wall. "It's Uncle Lyle. Possibly Uncle Lyle, definitely Jason. The Shulvanti kidnapped them to get to me. Be very careful." Mum had a thunderous look on her face. "Remember what I said to Deb? Said her boss was being all creepy towards her? Deb was Lyle's older daughter. She'd left to join the army, and I had no idea if she was alive. You said..." I had to think. "You don't fuck with the Steinbergs, or you fuck with all the Steinbergs, and then you went and beat the shit out of her boss and got her fired, yourself thrown in prison, and me nearly kicked out of college." Mum had a history of doing downright criminal shit for surprisingly good reasons. In high school I always joked that she was chaotic good, but she never thought through the things she did, and they always came back to bite her. "Yeah, hadn't really planned on that happening." She had that look in her eyes. "Mum, whatever you're planning, you do not fuck with the Steinbergs." Mum grabbed the shotgun off the shelf. I didn't even know how she got that, having been 2 years out of prison. Probably illegally. "Oh, Jesus Christ. Do you even know where they are? I mean, they could be anywhere." "There's a place near here. All the cloak and dagger bitches, what do you call them, the insiders or whatever, work." Mum ducked into the garage and returned with a chainsaw. "Oh my God, Mum!" I followed her around and she got various things. "You do this every time. Just stop and think." It was at this point I realized something. These last 2 years I'd be doing the same thing, just going off and raising hell whenever an alien looked at me funny. "Tom, this is our family. You should really be getting ready too." Mum unfolded a piece of paper and stuck it in her shirt pocket. "A, they'll recognize me in a heartbeat." "Good point. Once I go see Avi, I'll get Margie and some of the girls." Mum grabbed her car keys. "And B, I really don't want to lose you." Oh my God, where was Uncle Bill when I needed him? "And C, don't you and Lyle hate each other?" "But that's between us. And some big-titted purple bitch ain't getting in the middle of that." I could feel myself deflating. I wasn't talking Mum out of doing this. As she walked out the door, I sank down into a chair and thought of better times. "Barbara, so good to see you. I'm verklempt, you're doing okay." Avram Herschel looked up from what he was doing. We seemed to be chopping meat and throwing it in a bowl. "Mokshanet times, we're in. Want a nosh?" Barbara Steinberg opened her mouth as Avi tossed in a bit of chopped liver. The two had known each other for a while. They first met in a synagogue when she was pregnant with Tom. Once Marty died, Avi had helped her out here and there. "What do you need from old Avi, huh?" The old balding butcher put down his cleaver. "You still have that dynamite?" Barbara could hear the record scratch as Avi processed what she said. Whoever possessed that Vaksh's Dermonite is a dead man this day and age. Barbara smirked. Then I'll take it off your hands for you. Your funeral. Avi reached under the counter and fished out some keys. It's in the meat locker. Thanks, sweetie. Barbara went off to retrieve the bombs. I'll take those guns, too. Dare I ask? I think you know the answer to that. Fine. Avi pulled out another set of keys, in the delivery van. He tossed her the keys. Oy vey, he added quietly. He called up a few of his guys. Hey, we're gonna have to put our plan on hold. An unexpected visitor took some of it. As Barbara got back in the car, she turned the phone back on. She talked to a few of the girls on the way. Now it was time to wrangle the rest. It took the better part of the day, and all sorts of prepping and jury rigging and whatnot, but the girls were ready. Barbara had even made a trip out to the bar to hire some tough guys. Now they all sat at the table working on things. One last thing, Margie interrupted once Barbara was done telling them the plan. We need masks. Yeah. Barbara looked around the garage until her eye set upon a pile of burlap sacks. She grabbed the box cutter and cut a set of eye holes in one of the bags. How's it look? Barbara threw the sack over her head. Margie and Sammy laughed. Girl, you have a big-ass smiley face in your face. Barbara laughed too. I love it. She immediately started cutting out more masks for her girls. It suits you. Sammy was busy wrapping the dynamite in polyester sheaths. The fabric was good at blocking UV rays, less chance of it exploding from an errant shot by an alien rifle. We ready? Margie and Sammy nodded. They took their masks and got in the U-Haul. First we go to Samolojenko's. Avi's got some guys. Just promise them that they can take whatever tape they find, or we don't even have to pay them. Clever. Gun was loaded, dynamite prepped, chainsaw oiled up, knuckle dusters for fighting the shields head-on. One thing left to do. Barbara Steinberg sent a quick, love you, heart emoji to Tommy. Irina was bored. As a member of the Golden Glaives, she was currently running security for some noble kid, whose mum had set her up with a position to learn the ropes. Just the thought made her snort derision. There were so many more important things than the Golden Glaives should have been doing. They were the interior's premier tactical units, for fuck's sake, not some rich stiffy's personal bodyguards. Of course, some of the Glaives units still got to have fun that didn't involve following and staking out whatever club up in Baltimore her charge wanted to go to next. She'd heard that Head Splitter captured someone important, some crazy-ass insurgent or something, while poor Umbra unit got to be babysitters. So of course they kept going out to do jobs. Something about fighting on the islands in the Chesapeake Bay. So effing bored, Grover groaned behind her. Irina whipped her head around. She sympathized with the girl, but bitching about it only makes it worse for everyone else, Grover. Namely worse for Irina. At least Grover got to beat up Miss Fancy-Ass in combat training. Irina didn't even get that much. Sad. But the younger girl wasn't paying attention. She was looking at something in the distance. What in the thousand worlds is that? She never swore. Irina took a look. It appeared to be a human truck, speeding towards them, at a very high speed. Empress tits! She grabbed Grover around the waist and dove to the ground, as the truck plowed through the security fence and punched through the walls of the former Warfield Community Center. Irina looked at Grover. We need to get to Pluka. The noble's daughter had been given the call sign Pluka, partially, in Irina's opinion, because of her soft, inoffensive, and not at all dangerous nature. It didn't matter if this was random maniacs, insurgents, or any of the 1001 names on the ever-growing threat list that Irina had to go through every day. Pluka was in danger.